So did you go into this kind of knowing all the characters, or were there some added or some kind of fleshed out as you went along? How was that process of getting all the characters?
So okay. That's a great question. It's weird because I'm normally the one asking it to other creators. That's a great question. Let me answer you honestly and say that we had the main characters planned out. I obviously had their storylines planned out. And as we were reworking the script, it's more like characters. We added characters or took away characters as we needed to, just to tell the story that we wanted to tell. And I would say that it's like, it is, I haven't even said how long this thing is. It's going to be a short film. So it's not like a full length feature. Sorry, distracted me. Sorry.
Like, God, the anime studio's on fire.
So it's not like fucking Attack. It's not Attack on Titan or something. There's not too many characters. I wanted the main focus to be on 2 characters, and initially, both characters would get an equal amount of screen time because that's how I wrote the screenplay that I pitched. But because we needed to cut it half of it down, we had to make an important decision on which character do we focus on. And I chose a female character.
Correct answer.
Just because I think her character is probably more relatable.
Right.
Wink, wink. Relatable. But I did write it that way, that I think her character is going to be a little bit more relatable.
Yeah, I remember you showing me this.
Yeah. She's so cute.
So that's my girl. And I remember seeing this. How this worked was I didn't know what character designer I wanted. So they actually sent me a few character designs, which I'm not sure 100% I can show here, but you will get to see them in the documentary that I'm filming. But this is based on the design I chose. And the reason I chose this was just because I saw the her outfit and I'm like,
it's so cute.
They've done an amazing job with this. And I think that they've made it like anyone Thai would know, that would get the feeling that this is definitely inspired by like Thai outfits or Thai get-ups. Awesome. For me at least. And I was like, oh, I love this. I love everything about this. One major challenge that we went through when designing this character, and something that I learned as well. How old does she look? And you can be honest.
Which one?
The
adult one?
This one.
Yeah, the adult one.
Like 16.
Yeah, I was going to say 16, maybe 17.
All right. She's 19.
Okay.
And
I can see that.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
One big problem, or not problem, one big challenge that I've realized, which is why it kind of put into perspective how fucking toxic this anime character is this age, this anime character is that age. It is, you can have a character age in mind. It is so hard to
make them look
draw something that makes them look the exact age that you want them to look.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the same thing with like humans in real life.
Literally, people,
like 16-year-olds and 19-year-olds sometimes look exactly the same.
Yeah,
Tom Cruise looks like 30. It's fucked up. Like, I mean, Araki looks like 30.
Yeah, none of us look our age.
Like,
we get different ages all the time.
I look like I'm 4 days away from dying. It's just like it's this whole pursuit of having to make the character look the exact age that you think.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not realistic.
Because he was like the first design that it was based off of, right? He was like the very, very first design. And I love this design, right? But there was a few things about her characteristics that I wanted to convey. So Rin is, how can I say? I gave her a little bit of Sydney's energy and naivety when Sydney just moved to England. And I gave her my insecurities. So me and Sydney both call her our daughter.
Yeah, it's basically your child.
Yeah, basically our child at this point, because she has a little bit of both mum and dad in her characteristics,
right,
without being exactly either one of us. But this was her original design. And I looked at this and I loved the, Thai style inspired clothing and stuff like that. And I loved the expression because I was like, oh, she seems someone who is, Genki, but
very bubbly.
Yeah, very, very bubbly, has Sydney's energy, like I said. But I was like, oh, she looks a little bit too mature for the character that I was trying to convey. She has this little bit of an One-san energy, I would say, to this.
Might be the ponytail.
Yeah. And I was like, I think I want, if I look at that, I think, I was like, oh, that's like 25, 26.
Yeah,
I would
early
say.
20s.
Yeah, I was
That's
like,
how anime they make moms. Just give them a ponytail.
It is the mom ponytail.
Yeah,
You're right.
it is.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let's use this design as a base. Let's adjust it a bit.
Yeah.
Give her a little bit more naivety because the entire storyline is about her being a Euthanian traveling to Earth and trying to start a life there. And I took a lot of inspiration from Sydney's journey. And not only that, when writing the screenplay, I basically had this 2-hour long call with Mei Lin as well. So I know, because I wanted it to be based on real people and real experiences. And so I just asked the people I know who moved to a different country when they were, at that tail end of adulthood, teenager and just starting adulthood. That's what her story is based around. And I was like, she looks too mature. Let's give her a bit more naivety. Let's give her a bit more innocence. And so that's how we came up with the final character design, or the designs that we ended up going with. So this is like her final coloring and everything like that.
Okay.
So that's the entire evolution
I
of
see
her
what you mean about the
design.
magic wings.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Now that I see it visually, I'm like, oh, the magic wings look so good.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah, he had a vision and he executed on that vision. And I look at that and I'm like, okay, like I said, it's very, very hard to tell the age of anime characters. And and they told me that it is more, aside from like the baseline of this, it's actually more based around the voice type that they have.
Yeah.
That you choose for them, and also what kind of clothes they wear.
Yeah, that makes sense. I know that's similar in real life a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I guess this is like, it was super interesting to be on the other side where I know what some toxic anime fans to be like sometimes. And I didn't want to fall into that trap of just like, here's an adult.
Yeah.
And the internet be like, but you've designed a child.
Yeah.
And then being on the other side, I now have realized the importance of there are some things that are more important than what age you think this character is.
Yeah, it's such a stupid debate.
Yeah. Because for me, my biggest priority was in the character design was, does it represent the character that I'm writing as opposed to what age they are?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that's why it feels like a kind of like a juvenile debate online.
Yeah.
It's like, well, technically, and it's like, what do you think they worried about this? Yeah. Like, they did not think about this.
Exactly.
This is
No.
concern. Why do you think about it more than them?
Yeah.
Totally.
I'm sure many authors and many artists are more concerned about conveying the character that they and their personality.
I mean, there's just a narrative they want to push. So It's just
So this is the design, final design, and you guys have seen this design, correct?
Yes. Well, I haven't seen this exact screenshot.
no, I've not seen this one. No,
But you
Right.
did show me the sketches.
yeah,
yes.
the sketches I saw.
Yeah.
So she's my daughter. She's
Just so cute.
Congrats.
I love her
She's
hair.
very cute.
yeah. And I
do
can't
like
wait.
that.
I can't wait to see her animated.
Yeah.
Because this entire process has been fucking magical. Just to see there's this one moment where that I wanted to explain that I didn't think was going to happen. It wasn't even seeing the character designs. So initially, there are two main characters in my story. One is named Rin, and one is named Dai. How did I come up with Dai? I was looking for a 3-letter name, so it would be easy to type in the screenplay. So I just searched up a name generator,
Yep.
and I saw that one of the names was Dai. which apparently, according to the name generator, had Welsh origins, which I then asked Connor about.
Yeah, I was like,
And then Connor was like, yeah, I never heard of it. I was like, okay.
I mean, it sounds like a shortened thing for
Yeah.
other names. So maybe that's where it came
Well,
from.
Dai is also a Japanese name.
It is also a Japanese name,
Yeah.
right?
This just means two in Welsh.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It means
Yeah.
big in Japanese.
Yeah.
But I think I could see it. Probably like a shortened version of other stuff.
Yeah. And I chose to name the female character Rin, because I was also looking for another 3-letter name.
And because you love Torsakanin, right?
How the fuck did you know that?
Of course.
How the fuck did you know that?
How long do you think I've been your friend, Garnt? The moment you showed me the Rin and I saw the name Rin, I was just like, oh, this motherfucker wanted to put some fate in here, didn't he?
God damn.
Motherfucker. I knew.
Yes, okay. I chose Rin because I
needed
liked
some
Rin
remnant
Torsaka.
of your life in
okay,
there
but
somewhere.
they were meant to be placeholder names, okay?
Sure.
They were meant to be placeholder names.
Yeah.
And you got attached.
And they were placeholder names. They were just 3-letter names. But during the script writing process, because we'd been referring to them as Rin and Dai for so long, we got attached to the names. So even though we'd always had the intention of renaming them to have given them like proper full names, we wanted to, at that time we were so attached to these names that it felt wrong naming them anything else but that. Super fucking weird, because when I started writing them, I wasn't attached to these names at all. And by the end, the last thing we did before moving on full anime production was finalizing their names. And we, after a long meeting, we decided on Dai would turn into Daichi, Arai Daichi. And Rin, since this had like a Thai flavor to it, I wanted to give her a Thai name. So her name is actually Rinrada Rachmani,
Okay.
which
That's long.
that is long. That is long. It's a combination of my mum and dad's family names.
Oh, dope.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
sweet.
Hell yeah.
And it was so weird. We had this long meeting where we were like, all right, these are the final names, right? And then I don't know what happened, but it suddenly felt like they just became real people, you know?
You could see it. You could
Yeah,
see
yeah,
their
yeah. Like
personality.
everyone in the room was like, oh shit. Oh, this is real. This is real.
Yeah, yeah,
now, because
yeah.
we understood the characters. We had talked so much about what the characters' backstory is, what their drives are, and everything. And then after we named them, there was this moment where we had this like big tangent discussion on Daichi's character. Because his name is Arai Daichi, they were like, oh, that means that he, in Japanese schools, he'd probably be standing at the front of assembly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, because his name's Ah. And then they were like, oh, so because he's standing at the front, he'd probably like stand like a certain pose like this, or like confident because he doesn't want to get, scolded by the teacher and stuff.
Yeah,
so he
yeah,
probably
yeah.
wouldn't slouch. And just by naming them, so much of their character just came out organically in a way that I'd never thought about it before.
Yeah.
And it was like such a weird, magical moment for me just to be like, shit. I thought the names didn't mean shit. I thought I'm just going to put a placeholder name and it doesn't matter because I'm going to tell this story. And then as soon as this happened, I was like, fuck, there's so many aspects of their character that have come out, little details that don't have anything to do with the story, but have like completed them as a person.
It's like the Nishio Ishin method, right? Where like he gives his characters like these insane names and then basically builds the personality all around that name, because all of his names are just puns for shit.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Yeah. So like I'm pretty sure I saw it in an
It's
interview, like
it's
that's how he writes.
Real life too. If your surname's like Baker, you're more likely to be a baker. I imagine that's true for characters
Yeah.
that
Okay.
we are also making.
Do you feel like, have you ever met a person where you meet someone, you feel their energy, and they say the name, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're definitely an X."
Yeah, of course.
You know.
Of course.
I'm like, it made me think of this. I'm like, how much do you think names shape our personality?
Everyone has
I
that
think
like
names do
one name.
help shape you as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone has that one name in their life where there's more than one occasion where you're like, oh yeah, you look like a Craig.
Yeah.
It's like, or you look like a James. you
Yeah,
know?
because I'm like, when our parents named us, I don't know how much thought. I mean, your parents,
No thought.
Easiest fucking choice of
Shall
all
we?
time.
Yeah. It's like, I'll name him after me because I'm the goat.
Me, I'm just like, damn, okay. I have my son is probably never going to meet another Garnt in this country that, he's raised in. That is probably subconsciously shaped some part of my personality.
Oh, for sure.
It's like along the way.
100%.
And I didn't realize this until this, where you name someone and then you're like, shit, that changes their personality just that little bit because their experiences are going to change just that little bit. And yeah, fucking great experience. And
hell yeah.
From there on, it was just honestly lock in, get the anime made.
Yeah.
We'd got the character designs, we had gotten the storylines, the world, and everything. And so from here on, it was just not so many interesting things to say. It was just a lot of meetings and a lot of micro decisions.
Yeah, like making sure
made.
stuff's going right.
Like, I definitely had a lot of stuff where, I would like to say that I had a vision and they executed perfectly. But what I'm very glad for is whenever they push back. So it's not like everything was smooth sailing. There was times when we had differing opinions. Like, for example, Rin's hair color. One thing I wanted was I wanted this to have a natural feel. I didn't want this to have so much of a typical isekai fantasy feel. I wanted this story to feel grounded because it is a grounded story based on my experiences or my friends' experiences. So initially I was like, I feel like she would need to have darkish hair, black hair, dark brown hair, which is like the initial drawing.
Not like a bright green or a
yeah.
pink or anything like
And
that,
they came to me with this coloring, with two colorings, which I only have one of them, but they came to me with basically the color that you saw, which is this color.
Yeah.
And I was like, my first impression was I feel like it's too bright. It looks a little bit too anime. And they were like, we understand. We hear you. We hear you. We hear you. And we will listen to you because you are the one. You are the.
It's your work.
It's your work. We will listen to you, but we highly recommend that you choose a color that stands out a little bit more from the crowd. Anything too dark is going to blend in with the other characters and the background as well. And she, as the protagonist, is just going to stand out a little bit less.
Yeah.
And I had this moment where we were in the meeting room and I was like, I still want her to look natural. And then I heard the director say his opinion. He's like, I feel with the other color, I really like the other color and the energy that it brings her, but I feel like this would look better for her as a main character. Go to the colorist, say the same thing. The producer says the same thing. It was the first time I had an opinion that was a gut feeling, and everyone around me was telling me my gut feeling was wrong.
Right.
And now that I've seen the final animation, I am so fucking happy that I listened to everyone else and didn't go with my
They
immediate.
wouldn't lie to you.
Yeah, exactly. Because they made the right choice. Because with the hair color I picked, she wouldn't have looked like, a main character, or a protagonist energy. Sometimes there's the meme of just like spot the main character.
Yeah.
Sometimes the main characters are the main characters for a reason because they need to stand out.
Absolutely. Yeah,
exactly. And I feel like the color they chose was still like on the natural side of things, especially with like the final composition.
It looks great.
Especially with the final composition, but still like enough to stand out from the crowd.
I think also like when you see the clothes that she wears as well, it just makes a lot of sense to have that color.
Especially with some of the clothes she wears, it really like complements it as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, this is my sorry. I'm just fanboying.
The winter coat.
I like the winter coat.
Yeah,
I like the oversized jacket. Okay,
That's cute.
That's cute.
That's cute.
I like the oversized jacket. But yeah, there were like so many little micro decisions like that I had to make, and you think something like that would be an easy kind of like 5-minute thing, and you extrapolate that for music, for the animation, for the coloring, for every little detail that needs to exist in this anime, and it takes up so much fucking time, from what she would wear to what the aesthetics of like each different character is. And yeah, it's taken a lot of work, and it's getting to this point where I'm shitting myself. As I said, I'm super nervous. And it's almost finished. It's almost ready. So the final name of the anime is called Ban, Otona no Kyokai, which basically translates to the Japanese side is like the boundary of adulthood.
Yeah.
But the Ban aspect, it's this project has gone through a lot of names, which I won't bore you with, but Ban just means home in Thai.
Okay.
And we had like a fucking list of names, and everyone gravitated towards that one word, and that was the only Thai name in there. I just threw it in, just to see if the director would gravitate towards any name, and that was like the name that they really liked.
It's also easy to pronounce in Japanese as well. So
Yeah.
helps,
Exactly.